We are live.
You're live?
Yeah, it worked. I had to completely exit out and then do a backflip, and then it works.
Wow. I like being live. That's good.
Hello,
Being live's
Internet.
good.
Yay.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, can you go?
Hello, everyone. Hello, internets. Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, we got a lot to cover and not a lot of time to do it in today.
Well,
Yeah, we do. Tyler's
we-
on. Hey,
we
what's
got-
up, Tyler?
We got all the terms.
We do have all the time. But we got, actually, we don't have a lot of stuff. I don't know about ski, but, and I know we're not going to talk about, I guess we can talk about rumors right off the bat if you'd like.
Well, we may run late if Ski tells us how awesome we are
Okay, well.
and how beautiful of a man he is.
We'll get to that part. I don't know. Hey, Ski, have you been having difficulties getting rumors out of your guy?
Oh, a massively amount of nothing.
Yeah. Okay, so I've got two sources. One I know is a guy. The other one I think might be a gal.
Okay.
I know one's a guy. He works at Forge World, and he is a designer, but he doesn't have his ear to the ground over in GW that often. But both of them have been radio silent, and I don't think they got fired or anything, but it's like request for information, through a normal channel. It's not working. It's like, I don't know if GW had that crackdown that I've been kind of like joking around about.
Well,
you've had one of those meetings.
Well, that, and you got to think about the campaigns on Countdown. And so you've got part one, you got part two sometime, who knows when, and then you've got this. I don't know. I feel like they dropped a lot, especially after the gets, the glue gets, and then there was the books, and then there was the campaign, and then there was some Forge World stuff, and then everything is just like done. Like there's nothing. FAQs. That's what we've gotten.
Yeah, I guess part of me thinking that the reason why they've been kind of dried up on info is because we're so close to LVO, and the Thursday before all the games start, they'll have their what do you call it? Studio or not studio?
Game preview.
Yeah, the preview. So my guess is maybe that preview is GW is keeping that preview really tight and secret, and so they haven't got a peep of it. Maybe that's why.
And you got to think they're packing, and they're probably just getting ready for the road, because you got LVO, then right after that is Adepticon.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that's, we're going to see some releases, but I don't think it's going to be a lot of stuff like leaked. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe I'm acting with a little bit of privilege here, or maybe being a little spoiled, but I was really hoping to get some information on some of the upcoming releases, but I didn't. I feel bad.
I'm with you. Like, I think AOS, the only things that we're looking forward to, and it's not even AOS, kind of, it's more, Shadespire is, you got the troll team, because we've got the rules now for AOS in the packet and in the book, so we know he's coming soon.
Yeah. And
then you've got the barbarian, the new look for the Norse/chaos barbarian type faction that they're doing. So
I was hoping just to have like a whisper of at least like Genestone Cult dropping.
Yeah.
The last little bit I had was probably pre-orders on the 26th. So, yeah, in time for a weekend release at right before the week before LVO, or maybe the week after, and then it'll be a release on LVO weekend, because GW sets up a store there with Forge World. So,
yep.
I don't know. I think maybe that's just it. It's just because Las Vegas opens right around the corner, and that's why we're not getting any rumors. no photos or anything like that, except for the Urban Conquest. I don't have any of the artwork on my computer, and I don't want to mess up our chat group here. But somebody had I had seen a photo of it, or one of the pictures, and there's a Chaos Lord in Terminator armor, Black Legion. He's got all the nice spiky stuff like Abaddon, but he's wielding, all you see is his back, and he's got some massive staff with like a burning censer at the end of it. So I'm wondering if that might be a new character, or if that's Abaddon. Maybe Abaddon's got a new weapon set now. Maybe no longer has his traditional claw and demon sword.
He's just tired of getting manhandled, so he's got to upgrade.
Yeah, I'm thinking so.
Yeah.
Maybe now he's like the herald of the chaos gods or something. I don't know. I mean, it could just be artwork.
That too. I mean, he's probably going, man, this 30K freaking claw is just not cutting it anymore, you know?
Get it? Cutting it?
But apparently claw is, maybe that's what World Claimer has, because, you know, they got the World Claimer champion or whatever for the first part of Vigilus, and he's got his snazzy lightning claw and his super spear that he can't use in close combat. So that really irritates me, by the way.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was that really cool picture with a spear in the ground with some like dead cultists around it or whatever, and all I can think was like, what's he doing? The tip of the spear's in the ground. Why is it in the ground?
Well,
He threw it.
You know what it is though? It's I'm gonna go some fluff, TJ. You're gonna like this. It's probably this Russ's spear that Ragnar threw through the warp. He got exiled to Terra to be a Wolfguard on Terra for. They found the spear, and so he can't use it in close combat because he just can't. It's just too much for him.
Is Russ's spear?
Yeah, I think it's Russ's spear.
Right. Yeah.
The one Ragnar threw at Magnus hit him right in the eye.
Yep. And went into the warp, and then he got exiled. Yeah, you did a great thing, but a bad thing.
Then he had to go join Thor's Warriors 3 on Earth.
Gosh, that book was funny because he was talking about Marines wearing perfume and everything. It was great.
Oh man!
Wait, Marines wear perfume?
You got to read that book though. I can't remember what it's called, but I did enjoy the book. But I thought the similarities between the Warriors 3 from the Thor's buddies.
Yep.
I was like, no, come on, dude. Really? This is the best you can do, William King?
I miss William King.
But that's it. All I have. I got no rumors, man.
No rumors.
No, I'm embarrassed.
Yeah,
I'm not really embarrassed. I'm just upset. I'm upset that I don't want to pass on people.
What do you think, though? Okay, instead of rumors, since LVO is right around the corner, what do you think? Let's do a prediction of what they're going to show at LVO then.
Well,
G-Center Colts.
No, I don't think G-Center Colts. I think we're going to see part of the show. I'd say about a quarter of the show will be at least 3D renders and probably some already produced and painted Sisters of Battle. I think we'll see something for Age of Sigmar. And then I'm thinking some future projects, some works in progress. I honestly think we're going to see a Primarch there this weekend or that weekend.
Now, is it 30K Primarch, 40K Primarch, Demon Primarch, 40K or 30K? There we go.
Well, since Games Workshop will be putting it on, I'm going to be a Games Workshop Primarch. I don't, unless Forge World is sitting in on that panel. I don't think we'll see a Forge World announcement there. So, and I think we'll probably see some Vigilus previews as well. But I don't think we'll see Abaddon. I think they're going to wait until we get closer. We're at what, almost 48, or about to hit 48 days now. I don't think we're going to see nothing of Abaddon until March 4th.
You think March 4th, really?
Yeah, well, March 4th is the 49 days from now, and that's our countdown window for when the hints are released for Abaddon, So I really think, and that's not a release time for a new model. They don't do that on a Tuesday. So I think they're going to show that on the 4th, and then either that weekend, that coming weekend, or the weekend after, Abaddon and Vigilus will go on sale on pre-order.
Okay.
I mean, I got no proof, but if the 4th is the 49 days from today, then that would be a perfect Monday. Hey, Warhammer community page. Look what's coming this week. And people are like, oh my God, look at Abaddon. He finally has a new model. We're so happy.
I mean, I think there would be a lot of people happy if that actually happened.
Yeah. And then there'll be people disappointed because there's going to be something wrong with the model. There'll be something wrong with the rules. But the vast majority of us are just going to be so happy that Abaddon's got a brand new model.
Then that leaves only a handful of like 3 or 4 that still need a new model.
Yeah. And I'm really hoping that they don't make a static pose model like the previous one. Looking at how they did Karn and Ahriman and Typhus, how they redid all those Chaos Lords, they got them in more of a dynamic, forward-moving pose instead of just that, hey, look at me, I've got a claw in this hand and a sword over here. Yay, I'm awesome, I'm Abaddon. I got jazz hands. Hopefully they'll have them in a nice dynamic pose and not just all staticky like the new Marius Calgar. I'm not big. I like Marius Calgar in the Primaris armor and the Gravis armor, but I'm not happy that he's kind of almost 2D looking. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they could have, with the model, he's kind of like this.
Yeah.
I felt like it would have been better if they did something like they did with Typhus, Yeah.
Made
it very dynamic.
Or if not dynamic, make them look like he is directing troops in battle. Or, they could have done that pose so much better than what they did. They went back to that classic. If you look back at a lot of classic models, like the Blood Angel Captain from 3rd edition box set, I believe, with it was a Blood Angel Captain. They re-released a model. They've got the one-arm pose, and they're looking off to the side, and they got their arm out shooting. And they must really, really like that pose. I don't know if it's a John Blanche thing or a Jess Goodwin or whoever's handling the designs on that. They need to stop. They need to stop. They're making fantastic models, but they are getting the poses wrong. They need to actually probably sit down with some military veterans and have them tell stories and show or just watch videos and stuff and see how commanders on a battlefield act. They don't sit there and like, look at me, look like they're posing for Mr. Universe.
Oh, your commander didn't do that?
No, they don't.
No, mine did.
My commander ran to the grenades and the bullets.
Yes. Yeah, Marines are crazy.
Yeah, Marines are, man.
I don't know. I'm not saying that GW is doing bad. They're doing fantastic. I'm just really hoping that they don't do these weird static poses. Let's make something that's a little bit more practical and makes sense.
Or like the KS guy that can't use a spear in close combat. Beautiful pose.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Pose. And even that new chaos, I don't know if he's a chaos sorcerer or the preacher or whatever they call their chaplain. That one that's coming out, I'm sure everybody's seen. But even him, he's got a nice forward momentum going. Everything has a nice flow to it. It looks like he's about to get into battle, even though he has all this junk on his backpack. It's a little impractical, but
his junk represents coolness.
It is coolness. You're right, and this is maybe the military's. I'm sure skis, are being in the field, kind of the same way. You don't want all that junk dangling all over the place. It's so impractical and it's unwieldy. And I understand, Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, whatnot. They're in their armor. They're around 900 pounds, 980 pounds, or a little bit. Actually, I think they're 1,000 or 1,000 because they're 790 without armor. It's another 180 kilograms. So yeah, just over 1,000 pounds in armor. And I understand they can move around and all that stuff fairly easy, but come on.
I mean, I'd been happy to have power armor like that when I was in the field, because then I'd be like, oh my god, this 100+
Okay,
rocket launchers, grenades, ammo, all this stuff. I've been like, get some.
you're not taking into consideration, John, that all the decorations, one, are awesome. Two,
Awesome.
strike fear into the Emperor's followers. And
Okay.
three, it looks awesome.
Okay, well, one, I do recognize that it does look awesome. Two, a 1,000-pound, 9-foot-tall monster charging towards me with a glowing staff and a big giant cannon in his other hand. It's going to be terrifying enough without the skulls and the flaming braziers and all that stuff on his back. And three, yes, he is awesome looking.
Well, with all the flaming braziers and all the other stuff, it adds to the awesomeness. And you're like, oh, God, I'm scared. But then you see that, you're like, oh, my God, I'm even more scared.
No,
so
I don't.
You amplified the scaredness.
He could have just put, hey, I'm really big and scary. I'm coming to kill you and murder you and peel off your skin off your face. He could have just wrote all that on there, and that would have just been even more terrifying than the big.
But then that would just look gaudy.
You know what's more terrifying is that Slanesh harp than a freaking ring with cladded stuff. I mean,
I'm actually okay with that one.
See?
That one, the harpist or whatever she's called for Slanesh, dude, the model is killer. Though I feel like they could have done her just slightly a little bit more different than the regular looking Daemonette, but overall that human body as a harp, oh, that is awesome.
And she's nasty, by the way. That model for Rules and AOS.
Oh yeah. Well, in 40K, same way.
Yeah, Jeremy played her for Slanesh tournament, and he ran 2, I think, and they're nasty because their abilities stack.
Yeah. I'll tell you right there, that's John Blanchard. If anybody, that's his art. That's where they pulled that from.
Yep. Dude, I mean, let's be honest, man. I don't think there's really anything in the 40K universe or the Age of Sigmar universe that probably wouldn't terrify me to death if I actually saw it in real life.
Yeah. Except for Guard.
No, man, Guard would be pretty scary, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, but I would be like, come back and talk to me in 15 hours. If you survive, well, have you guys read that book?
What, 15 hours? Who's that by?
I don't know, but it's a Imperial Guard book.
Okay.
And it's about the life expectancy of the average guardsman is 15 hours on the battlefield. And it's a really very brutal book because front to cover, they're following this one guardsman, and as he is doing everything he can to survive 15 hours.
Jeez.
And it is terrifying. I feel really bad for the guy, everything he has to go through. Anyways, I got sidetracked about rumors and models. I apologize. Lord.
That's what the show's about. Don't apologize.
Don't apologize, man. I mean, that's stuff that just came out. I mean, we just had the new FAQs drop. So that's a very interesting choice of topic. They clarified a little bit of stuff. Some point changes went down.
Mm.
Oh my God! All the Space Wolf players that run Thunderwolf Cavalry. I'll talk about that one.
Which one?
Oh,
about that FAQ about shields with Thunderwolf Cavalry.
Points
increase.
What do you mean on the FAQs?
Yep. So I glanced over it because I haven't been playing it, but I still look at all the rules and stuff, and I saw that they made Thunderwolf Cavalry shields are 10 points now, and so everybody was been just flaming all the Thunderwolf players like, oh well, no more Thunderwolves for us. I mean, it's just 10 points, right?
Yeah, it's 10 points. Yeah.
So they're just upset because it went up.
Oh, okay.
Which is really funny because
that makes sense. I mean,
it didn't break the unit.
I'm not sure if like war buggies or war trikes went up or down. The Scorches are now 37, war buggies are 33, and war tracks are 37. I don't know if that's up or down, Jonathan. Do you know? Is that up or down?
I don't have the. I was because I don't have the codex. I don't have the codex with me, but I think.
Okay.
I think it's up.
I don't
well,
see
that's
our
interesting.
I don't see our resident.
Yeah, Clint's not on yet, but maybe he'll answer it. You know, I mean, I don't know, man. I didn't really see anything that affected anything. The Vigilus stuff, though, they did clarify some stuff
Mm-hmm.
with the Wraith host, that you can't have a Wraith host if it's a Yunari. The detachment can't include Yunari as a keyword.
Or
And they did that for both of the ones, the Wind Rider and the Wraith host.
Yeah, I was not to interrupt. I'm sorry, interrupt. Go ahead.
Okay, and then they just kind of clarified a little bit of stuff, which didn't seem to bother me much. They answered a couple questions. The I didn't really see anything big that just made me say, "Oh my God, we're all screwed," So, or any big changes. I think it's more just clarification. So, I don't know. Maybe someone out there in the wild may want to give me some input on it, but I feel like Chapter Approved just kind of answered some questions.
Now, the Wraith host, is that only for the Vigil stuff, or is that in the 40K rules?
I'm not sure on your question.
Is it only for the campaign restriction, or is it on like just a normal 40K game for the Yunari and the bikes?
No, all that stuff is Vigilus is for open play, match play, and narrative play.
Okay, cool. Well,
yeah, I mean it's the same stuff that it's the same Vigilus stuff. It's just they clarified and added some keywords to make sure that you were utilizing it the way they wanted you to utilize it.
Well, I know there's a lot of upset Yunari players because that's really what you brought was Dark Eldar fluffed with the the bike squad with the warlocks on it. So
yeah. I think most people who do Yunari usually have one detachment and they're going to play Yunari. It's like a Dark Eldar detachment and an Eldari one, and then they do a Yunari like Supreme Command.
Yeah, on the TO chat or TO Facebook page, we were talking about that today. Some people were prior to there was a lot of debate on whether Yunari could take that Wind Rider detachment and it would gain the Yunari keyword and all that jazz. And prior to the errata that just came out, and then after, and either way, rules as written wise, once a Yunari or once the Yunari once a detachment becomes Yunari, which happens first, it can no longer gain those craft world detachment benefits. So it stops being a craft world detachment afterwards. And the Wind Rider command stratagem happens after list building. So there's no interaction there. So but I imagine we're going to see that pop up in probably any local tournaments and stuff until people finally get the word that once you add that Yunari to turn that world detachment to Yunari, it's over. You're done.
Yep. Yeah, because to be honest with you, I was listening to. Did y'all watch the LVO? They had the judges came on and we're talking about LVO. Yeah, and I think you brought that up to where like that stuff from the Vigilus has got to be added in your list before the game starts.
No,
so it's got to be in your list.
When did this happen?
I don't know. I think it was, or maybe it was somewhere else I heard it, but it was in the video they released. They were talking about your list building. That stuff's got to be in your list, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you can't like do it later, which is good. I like that.
And remember, everybody that's going to LVO participating in at least the 40K side, both friendly and championship, the 25th by the 7th, or by 7 p.m. you have to have your list in.
Yep. If you don't, it's a warning, right?
Warning, yes.
Yep. So
just get it done by the 24th. Save yourself the trouble.
Yep. Yeah, I got to redo mine from last time. I think I got my list pretty finalized on what I want it to be. I'm just going to play test it in the next tournament and just see how it goes. But I don't really feel like I'm going to change it up if I don't do well or if I do okay. I think it's I don't know. I just feel like it'll be at least a mid-tier list. So plus it'll be fun to play.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean that's very exciting. So I mean, yeah, I'm glad they brought out the FAQ right now because that's good on GW's part because they do know LVO is coming up. So we got a lot of clarification on a lot of the stuff that people had questions on a good month before the tournament. So people will be good.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but man, whew. Talk about all the exciting stuff, man. All the rumors, everything. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this is going to be a good time in Vegas.
So what do you think that rumor engine picture is?
Oh, that's easy. That's a new possessed Chaos Space Marine.
Is that what you're set on?
Oh yeah, that's what I'm going with.
It looks like a Vespid wing.
What do you think it is, John?
I'm really undecided right now. It could very well be something for. I think it's probably gonna be something for Age of Sigmar, to be honest. I think it's really. I was really hoping for something Slanesh, but that doesn't really fit the Slanesh feel to it. So I really think it's going to be something Age of Sigmar related, and probably related to like the Realm of Life and probably Sylvaneth or something, or Sylvaneth.
I think it's going to be Slaves of Darkness, Chaos, Age of Sigmar.
Fair enough.
It'll be cool. So I guess when it comes out, we'll have to make sure it is. But I was also thinking that it possibly could be. Oh God, I just had it in my head. New flying Gene Stealers for Gene Stealer Colts.
Oh, that's
possible. I don't think so. It's usually these rumors are from several months out, and Gene Stealer Colts are probably within the next few weeks. So my bet, we're going to see what that is probably about April.
Probably about April. Yeah, you're probably right.
I usually am.
It's probably not even on the model. It's probably a bit that's like on the base or some kind of other part of it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. But that is an interesting rumor engine.
Yeah.
So what's coming out next week besides the one stuff? You think next week is supposed to be what they say it was going to be. It was going to be the new Forge. What is it? The new Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see here. Yeah, I know that. I mean, do y'all think Gene Stealer Colts are going to be the week after that?
I think the 26th. I'm putting my money on that 26th will be the pre-order date for them.
Okay.
I've got nothing to go on, guys. It's just there's not a lot of releases coming down. The only thing that would probably hamper that is since next week is, I don't think it's the new Shadespire teams. I think it's just the Lord of the Rings and the new Titanicus stuff. So the only thing that would stop Gene Stealer's Calls from being on the 26th is if they release the new Shadespire stuff that week. And then after that, the 2nd would be Gene Stealer Cults, which would be a great sale for them at LVO. They would sell the piss out of that book. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I think they will. God, man. I don't know, man.
And I think it's going to be probably a 2-wave release with all those characters and the new units, probably reboxing of some of the old stuff. I think we'll probably get a 2-week release window.
Yeah, I do like the new. I was looking at the new I was looking at the Gimli model. God, Gimli and Legolas, because I know up at Atomic they're starting the Middle Earth League. So,
yep.
It's crazy. I have a whole entire dwarf army metal.
Wait, did you just say Legolas? Is it Legolas or Legolas?
I don't know.
Isn't that Hawkeye?
It's Hawkeye. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, Legolas, Gimli, and Aragorn, however you say his name. Yeah, they look good. I'd like to do the Lord of the Rings, but I'm going to wait for the next escalation. Because I've got too many projects on my plate right now. I just don't have enough time to get involved, especially if I'm going to end up. The only thing one I'd probably squeeze in is those Troggoths for Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, those Troggoths are cool.
I need to learn how to play Age of Sigmar before I get involved. I don't know anybody that can teach me.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who can teach me either. I'm just going to have to figure it out.
Yep, no clue.
So,
but I have decided on my Age of Sigmar army. So,
what'd you decide?
Oh, it's Beast of Chaos.
Oh.
Yep.
That don't seem like the UTJ.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Beast of Chaos.
Cool.
Yeah. You're not a very chaosy guy. You're starting to get more and more chaos stuff.
Well, the Beasts of Chaos really aren't chaos. They're just kind of mindless minions running around and bash stuff. Yeah.
Well,
there's two main reasons for it, Ski. One is dragon ogres, and the other is Bulgors and Doombull.
So those three choices are your best choices, but the book and the models after this last weekend, I was informed by a good player, commander player, that they are very hurting. They're the fastest army, but there's a lot of issues still with that book. But he did say if the three that you mentioned, especially the dragon ogres, if those are the three types of armies that are in a better state.
Yeah.
So good choices.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a couple.
Dragon ogres would be great.
Yeah, big units of Bulgors and a Doombull, running together, and then I really want to have maybe six or more dragon ogres, and then the rest I'll fill out with probably raiders or gores, just to do the ambush stuff. So, but yeah, I'll probably end up buying the starter box set, to be honest with you. I think that's a good starting point. So,
well, until the next General's Handbook comes out, and plus I want them to look very well. My Deepkin are kind of on hold because I'm working on my LVO Iron Jaws to get them up to snuff a little bit more. And I'm actually going to end up starting a Troggoth army myself because it's just exactly what I was looking for, and a lot of aspects between rules and stuff. So I'm excited for that. And I've got some Fellwater orcs Troggoths already. So then hopefully this weekend I'll pick up the boss and have the boss, and then I'll just keep working on it.
Yep. I think it's going to be good, man. It's going to be real good for you. I can't wait to see you paint them too.
Yeah, I can't wait. I think it's going to be great, but I just thought of a problem with the idea. I let you know earlier is the bases, if they match, then the whole model kind of fades away. So I have to figure out how I'm going to do the bases comparatively.
Yeah, because you're going to go with a very different theme. I'm not sure how you're going to go with that, man.
Yeah. But it'll look good. I know the models will look good when they're done.
Yes, it will. Oh, man. Yeah. It's exciting. So, what else do we got on the plate tonight, guys?
Well, something I'm kind of definitely off topic that I didn't discuss with you guys prior to going live. But for everybody that's watching right now, I'm going to be putting a poll up on the FNP Wargamers Facebook page. Too much for it, and please vote on it because it's going to be about our tips that we're going to do.
Are you guys losing him?
And, he's a robot.
Okay, all right. Just want to make sure because he was getting very robotic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So what's the poll going to be on?
Okay. Anyways, I'm going to be doing what's that?
He's so behind. I think he's delayed.
Oh, I'm delayed?
Yeah.
I
think you're caught up now. So what is the poll about? You got all robotic-y.
Okay. Am I good now?
I think so. Until you start talking.
The poll is up. No, just kidding. The poll is about some future content videos, and I'd like to get all of our fans' opinions on which of the two formats they would like us to do for coming in after LVO. So please look for that tomorrow and vote on it.
Awesome.
Oh, that something TJ also mentioned is so usually when we go to LVO, we film at LVO, but TJ said there's going to be some filming probably not at LVO, but while we're out. So I think it'd be pretty good. A lot of fun stuff added.
Oh yeah.
Well, I'm gonna try to do some filming because I know one Estonian from the Grand Alliance Houston for Age of Sigmar. Mr. West, James West, will be playing the championships at the Age of Sigmar tournament for LVO. So I know I'm going to be either Facebook living or something, whatever I can, going around there or trying to see how things are going. So
awesome. Well, we probably the four of us probably need to meet at the store at some point and make sure everybody knows how to use the cameras correctly, microphones or anything like that, and kind of maybe come up with a loose itinerary so we can make sure that whoever's not gaming has time to film and whatnot.
Yeah.
Does that sound like a plan?
Yep, because I'll do my normal thing. I'll do of course I'll film all my opponents and do that kind of stuff. So you can see who I played and what list I played. So I'll put together something at the end, my list and everything else. All the people I played, which will be good. So I'll do something like that again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I can't wait to just hang out and meet some new people at LVO.
That's the best part of it.
Yep, that is the best part of the camaraderie. I mean, there's going to be 1,000 people that love 40K just as much as we do. So
yeah.
I'm excited to be part of the crew this time instead of just a fanboy like lurking at the edge of your group.
Dude, I just hope people come up and say hi. Because, I mean, I'm pretty normal. So, yeah, I'm a little weird, as y'all can tell on this show. But, pretty normal. So, come up and say hi to us. But, yeah, I can't wait for the new content and see, what good ideas we have now. So, there's 4 of us working strong. So,
yeah.
After LVO, man, it'll be time to turn it on again. So,
and we'll get Alan back.
Yep. Yeah, we'll get Alan back as soon as he gets moved in his new house. I'm excited to get Alan back. I miss having Angron on our channel.
I know.
Because he does have that raspy voice. He's like, "Hey guys,
I'm someone say meat."
Yeah, I'll have to get him to shave his head again to make it look like he's Ragnar from the Vikings show. Yeah.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
So, I mean, did y'all want to talk about some tactics? I know we mentioned we wanted to talk about target priority.
Yep.
Yeah. Take it away.
So, okay, I'll start off, and then y'all can add into it. So, so the deal is, when you're playing 40K, one of the most important things you remember is when you're shooting is your target priority. So the one thing you always got to consider is, you got to consider what your ballistic skill is, right?
Wait, what's target priority, PJ?
Well, target priority is in your shooting phase, and you want to make sure what you're shooting at, you have a high probability to kill it. So a bad example of target priority would be, oh, look, I have a knight. I'm going to shoot everything at the knight, and I'm shooting bolters at strength 4. Because if you're Space Marines, you do need 3s to hit, which is good. You got a high probability, so for 10, you're going to average around 6 to 7 hits. But then you're going to need 6s after that. So you're maybe only going to get 1 or 2. So that's the stuff you got to calculate. So if you have a unit of Space Marines with 10 shots and 10 bolter shots, and you have the objective to either fire them into the knight or into let's say a squad of guardsmen. Guardsmen are probably a better unit for you to shoot at because you're probably going to kill a lot of those than you will put wounds on a knight. So that's the main thing about target priority is you got to look at your weapon profile. First you have to look at your unit. And on your unit, you need to look at what your weapon skill or what your ballistic skill is. So if you need a 3+ to hit, that gives you a 66% chance to hit, right? And then After that, you have to count in modifiers too, right? So if you have the ability to reroll all hits, that's huge. Or the fact you can reroll ones is huge, right? So you look at what your ballistic skill is and how well you can hit a target. So if you're hitting a flyer like an Eldar flyer that's got a -2 to hit, then you have to look at it and you're like, wow, instead of hitting on 3s, I'm now hitting on 5s. Is it really worth me taking my only las cannon shot and only being able to hit maybe 33% of the time? You know?
That's true.
So does that make sense to you guys?
Absolutely.
So that's the first thing you got to look at. And then after that, you got to look at what you're going to wound your target on too, right? What you're going to wound it on. If you're going to wound it on a 4, it gives you, then you can calculate, okay, if I have 10 shots, I hit with 7, I'm going to maybe get 3 or 4 hits. So you can kind of probability stack it. You need 3s to wound, it's even more of a chance. 2s, even bigger. Rerolling 1s, even bigger. So that's the thing you got to look at, is when you're looking at what you're going to shoot at, is what has your highest probability to kill things. So that's always the first rule, I think, if you're looking at target priority, is what you can shoot and what you can kill. So, make sense to you guys?
Yep.
Okay. I hope the guys in the chat, if they have any questions, just ask me while I'm talking, and I'll try to answer. So, not that I'm the greatest player in the world. I'm not a top player or anything like that. But that's just any gamer, no matter what level you're playing at. If you're playing just a small match play game, or you're playing a narrative game or open play, you need to look at your weapon profile and your stat line on what you can hit with, and the weapon profile and their toughness, and determine what you can wound on too. And then you also have to look at like what their probabilities of you getting wounds on is. You have to look at any negative modifiers you have to your weapons. And you have to look at their armor save too as well. So if you have like a -2 and they're a 4 up, it goes to a 6. So your probability is really high on wounding and them actually taking the wound from your weapon. So that's all stuff you really got to look at when you're looking at target priority too. And then you know, everything is in stages too. You have to look at your weapon too, on your weapon profile. Do you get more shots as a rapid fire weapon if you're closer? You know, and stuff like that. And, you know, then on top of that, you got to calculate your stratagems. And if you get a +1 to hit with one of your stratagems, that's huge. If you get a +1 to wound, that's huge too as well. So as you're looking at what unit is effective to kill the other unit, is when you're playing the game, and you got to look at all that stuff when you're playing it, because if you don't, then, you know, you're sitting there just rolling dice and just praying to God, or praying that you're going to roll a 6 to kill something, when you could probably take out another unit on 3-ups, you know? So that's the thing, you know? I know a lot of times, you know, we get lost in the game when we're playing, especially when you're inexperienced or you just don't know what the other army is, but that's the best part of this, is if you're playing your opponent, and if you ask your opponent, hey, if you don't know the unit, ask your opponent, hey, what's the toughness of that unit? Hey, what's the save of that unit? Do they have any special rules to where like they get an extra cover save or something like that? So that's part of the that's really part of that creed that, you know, they put down with the gamers thing for LVO and all the other ITC tournaments, is that you need to ask your opponent, and so you can figure out, you know, what's good for you and what's good for them too. So you need to have that open dialogue. Don't be scared to ask your opponent if you're confused on something, especially when it comes to you trying to utilize all your units to get the best out of them to kill something. Because that's the name of this game, right? It's, I'm going to try to kill more units than you're going to try to kill on me. Yep. Anything y'all want to add to target priority, guys?
Well,
yeah, I got a few things actually.
Cool.
A lot to do with target priority too is not necessarily always, you know, the easiest killing unit, because you have to think of things such as, even me as a veteran player, I have to keep saying, play the mission, because your first instinct is kill, kill, kill. And a lot of times if a unit is sitting on an objective and they're going to score more points than you, let's just put in LVO, you know, ITC standard, and it's about the end of the turn, and they're going to score a point because they're sitting on an objective, you can wipe them off that objective by oversaturating that unit. You know, try using the stuff that's good for the unit, like TJ was saying, but there's a point when you're shooting missile launchers into some Space Marines or even some high yielding weaponry just to get them off that objective, because you're trying to play the mission. That's a point. That's a whole point, and 1 point can win and lose you the game.
Yep.
So I've had people. I have a good bad target priority. Yeah, Luke actually just posted. I do hear a high pitched noise. It's someone's getting feedback. I don't know if it's me. I muted myself. Somebody mute yourself. See if the high pitch. Do you guys hear that high pitch squealing? Not TJ. Oh, it's John. Everyone muted, and then it stopped when John muted. See, it's gone now.
Yes.
Yep, and it's back.
Yep.
It's John. Hey, plug your camera in and back in again or something.
Yeah, or whatever your microphone. Anyways, to continue. Thanks, Luke, for pointing that out. I thought it was just my computer. I have an old computer, so I was like, all right, whatever, I'll deal with it. Anyway, somebody at one point, I took a Vindicare Assassin, and he was in a building, so he had a 2-up save. And I shot this into a company command squad or whatever of Imperial Guards, and I killed one of the characters. Well, he was really upset. So this is back when templates, so 7th edition. He took the big pie plate and hit me with an orbital bombardment. I had tons of other units you can hit. Great big blobs that were actually bundled up. But he chose the one unit that was in a building by himself on the top floor, because back when, if it went down, then that was it, at the top floor to drop the bombardment. And he scattered, of course. But I was like, it was almost like I baited him accidentally, because he was upset. He was like, oh, you killed it. I'm going to drop an orbital bombardment. And I was like, oh, cool. That's gone. So, and I didn't care at the time either, because I had a 2-up save. But those are other things that target priority. Don't let your emotions take control of what you're trying to kill.
It's funny you bring that up, because I was talking with somebody about psychology.
Okay.
And tabletop gaming is very psychology. It has a lot of psychology involved in it, and people don't realize it. And I'm not going to get off, deep into it, but over the years as a veteran player, I've seen it time and time again. Now I'm seeing it in Age of Sigmar. Remember when the Knights first came out, or the Baneblades came out, or the Flyer Strike coming out? Those big models hit the table, and people's eyes automatically go to the biggest model and go, oh my God, it's a target. Oh my God, it's horrible. Oh my gosh, like all this stuff, Necrons, monoliths, right? I can go on for models, right? And 9 times out of 10, their focus is on that, and they end up, the player that has that model ends up winning objectively, because they're too focused on one model than it is the whole game. Or
you got to kill the big stuff.
Right.
Big scary stuff.
But then exactly. There's another part to that I was just talking to someone today about, is paint jobs. Now, this is going to, target priority, but don't let the paint jobs or the theme of the army catch you off guard, because it automatically will. If there's an army that is very colorful and bright, your brain has a hard time processing that over a couple hours of a game and figuring out what's what. On a side note too, if the army really blends together and things kind of match, you forget what is what. So you have to keep your brain going on what the game is objectively. The big things usually don't matter as much. I hate to say that. At least nowadays, it's a little bit different with all the different knights and stuff like that. But target priority for Age of Sigmar, it's who gives the buffs, who makes the armies nasty, characters. How can I get the objectives and take out their characters to slow their army down and make them less effective? If you can do that and stay focused, you might have a better chance of winning the game. The guy takes the Forge World model of nastiness, and you're like, oh my God, I got to kill that. Well, it's just one model. He might be nasty, but can you take out the 3 characters that get them a reroll to hit, reroll to wound, reroll to save. Like a Star Drake. Star Drakes are nasty, but unless you have something that could 2-shot it, there's other things out there. So
yeah.
I mean, it can only kill so much a turn too, right?
Yeah.
They're limited, and that's you got to kill the important stuff.
Well, in 40K, once it's been a while. If the unit's on an objective and they get wiped, you no longer claim the objective.
Correct.
Yep, you lose it.
Age of Sigmar is different.
It's whoever touched it last.
Yeah, once you claim it, it is yours, and you can leave.
Yeah, with 40K, once like at the end, that's why end of the turn is so important. Is if you got end of the turn, if you got second turn, then your objective is like, oh, I hold one objective, he holds one. So then your target priority may be, hey, let's eliminate him off his objective, so I get more points than he does.
Yep.
But still, you got to be smart enough to say, okay, I can kill that unit, and that's what I'm going to use to shoot it too. And the thing is, really, I think to make y'all's gameplay better, that's going to help y'all out in the long run, is you have to do some calculations in your head.
Oh, yeah.
You have to look at your probabilities. Because I know we always roll high. Some people roll high. Some people roll low. But at the same time, you need to calculate on what your averages are going to be when you shoot something.
Yep.
Because if you don't calculate that in your head, you know, you're just basically rolling dice and just hoping you roll better than average.
And I like that we're talking about target priority, because that literally encompasses the whole game. Think about it. Think about when you're picking very first thing and you're picking which like secondaries you're going to take in that mission.
Yep.
Right? And your target priority becomes what you think you can kill with the possibility of what you have. Or if you have more board control, how, you know, you'll get recon, things like that. Mm-hmm. So target priority, I had a guy when I played at Warzone GT last year, a guy, my first game, I played Dark Eldar, and he's like, oh, take Big Game Hunter, because he had a Baneblade. It was a Baneblade variant. It was one that had
he wanted you to take Titan Slayer, right?
Titan Slayer, yeah.
Yep.
And he was like, no, just take Titan Slayer. Yeah, it'll do you good. You know, it's for every like 4 wounds or whatever. I was like, no thanks. He's like, why? I was like, well, I'm going to do, you know, he had 4 full 10-man units that I can kill that were squishy. He had other things. I got recon, because again, he was also just troops and then big tank.
Yep.
And so literally what I did was everything didn't shoot at the tank. I wiped up and mopped his army like this. I came around, his Baneblade was like where my forehead's at, and I came in like this, and that was it. And I just assaulted the Baneblade for fun at that point. I had the board. Mm-hmm. I killed everything he had, all his troops, and that was it.
Yep.
Because he tried goading me into killing such a hard target. Yes, I had Dark Lances. Yes, I had Blasters. However, target priority in that game for me was not Titan Slayer, because it was killing the squishy things and getting board control. And I played my mission and I won. So,
and that's how I did so well at Adepticon when all the knights came out. At that time was the Animantium Lance. It was like the new thing, and then the new Necron Codex just dropped and was legal for that tournament. Out of all my games, I played target priority and played the mission, and I can't preach this enough. It's great to say, hey TJ, we're gonna play. I'm gonna try to table you. Those are fun games, but in the end of the day, if you're playing competitive, you need to play the missions. You need to have the target priority.
Always.
Oh, you have to think that way. I'm an Orc player, Iron Jaw player. I've got Bone Splitters, and I'm gonna have trolls. And I love the fact when I went to Wargamers Con, everybody's like, the first game I did it because I knew I was going to lose. I saw what I was up against, so I was going to have fun with it. And I did, and I got my objective, and I played as an Orc. I'm going to kill that target priority, and I killed it. I didn't win the game. But the rest of my games were mission, objective, and I wasn't that Orc player like, oh, I just need to go kill everything. No, it won me more games than 9 times out of 10 I won because of that.
Yep.
Being a chicken is okay too.
Oh, yeah.
I've sat on objectives just to get me points. Like I was like, hey, it would be very chaos of me to go assault you. However, I like my points, and I'm gonna get 3 extra points this turn because I didn't assault you.
Yeah.
You know, It's just it's you learn as you go. So it's a very veteran-esque thing, I think, comes with playing with a lot of games. Because your mind, like I said, even with mine, I'm like, oh, I gotta kill it, I gotta assault it, I gotta destroy this unit, and I gotta keep saying, play the mission, play the mission, play the mission.
Yep. I think the game me and you, Jonathan, played back in the day, Space Wolves versus Grey Knights. We played the mission, and we had a couple of units that were fun messing around to see what they could do. But other than that, it was a good game because we played the mission.
Yep.
Yep, and that's the thing about LVO is you can look at the missions right now. There's all 6 of them are out there, so you know exactly what each mission is. You know how the objectives are going to be set up. You know how everything's going to work. You know what your secondaries are. It's just when you get there, it's time to look at what's your target priority and what you need to kill when you fight that guy. Look across your opponent at the very beginning of the game. If you got any questions, please ask them questions. I need to talk and just figure out things because, that's what y'all are there for. Y'all are both there to have a good time and roll some dice. So,
the team tournament, I have the packet, but I haven't really looked at the missions because it's the team tournament for Age of Sigmar, and me and John are going in just to have fun. But if I was playing the championship, man, this month would be dedicated to just be playing games. Those missions, I would be grinding out those missions every chance I got until I knew them behind, back of my head, positioning, everything. So when I went to a competition, you understand it. You don't have to worry about that side.
You know the back of your head?
Yeah, it's right there.
Y'all don't know the back of your head?
I know where it's at.
That explains a lot, Jonathan.
I don't talk to it very often, okay? He doesn't call anymore.
But no, so if anyone's going to LVO, you have plenty of time to read that packet. Read both packets. Read the terrain packet, please.
Yep.
Read that terrain packet and get ready for it, because just in anything too, like if you're playing in your local hobby store tournament and they're using maelstrom missions out of the core rule book or chapter approved, read through them, because the worst thing is being ill prepared for the mission. Because if you're ill prepared for the mission, then you're going to be panicking when you deploy. You're going to not think about who you're shooting at or what you're going to do. There's a whole bunch of other factors that happen if you don't know the mission, and then like halfway through the game, you're going to be like, what am I supposed to do again? So I mean, really, before you go to any tournament or anything, or you're going to play with someone, if you're playing a pickup game or a friendly game with someone, man, read that mission, read through it all, check everything out, ask questions of your opponent to make sure that y'all know exactly how the mission's going to be played, what the objectives are, what everything is, so y'all can really, have a good game. Because the last thing you want to do is be like angry at yourself or angry at your opponent because y'all forgot to discuss something.
Yeah.
That's just not fun. That's just not fun wargaming.
Well, and then you get defensive when, I hate to say, it's a lot of people that get called out on things get defensive and they know they're wrong, but they don't want to be wrong because they know they were unprepared. Don't be that guy.
Yep.
Unless you have an actual issue with physical, mental issue, whatever, and hey, people have it when they're playing. A lot of people have issues when they play. That's one thing. But if you have a chance to try to prepare yourself, please prepare yourself, because it helps everybody. It really does.
Yep. So, I don't know, guys, man. Did anyone in chat have any questions about target priority they wanted to ask, or anything about how we do things? Maybe we can give some tips and tricks on how we do things, right?
The triple T's?
Yeah, the triple T's,
Tricks, tips, and ticks, or something like that.
Tips, chicks, tricks. I don't know anymore, man.
I'm glad nobody slipped up. Proud of you.
Slipped up with what?
I don't know. That could have been an easy T word to slip in there. That rhyme.
I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about, bud?
I don't either. That's why I'm glad it didn't accidentally slip up.
I'm saving that for Vegas.
No one in chat. No one, guys.
It's a slow. I noticed it gets a little bit Slow leading up to LVO. Everyone's watching their bat reps, getting ready.
Yep.
Everyone is watching bat reps, man. Man, everyone is looking at bat reps. That is true.
Yep.
I've been looking at models.
You've been looking at models?
That's what I do right now. Because I'm gonna be guilty. Like I said, I'm not. I have the packet. I haven't read through it, and it's a 3-game tournament on a Sunday. Me and Miller. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be that guy that I'm gonna look at the packet while we're there, like the day prior, just to understand what's going on. But we're gonna go on the table, and we're just there to throw dice and have fun with our opponent. Like, I mean, I'm not even playing it competitively. I'm not even going in that way. I'm going in just to have fun.
I'm going there.
You know what? To be honest with you, I really think that's what kind of the team tournament is.
Well,
If I wasn't playing in 2 days of, the championship, and then making it to, of course, the third day, so I mean, I would definitely look at the team tournament,
Dang, you just already making a third day.
Oh yeah, I mean, with my list, it's definitely going to the third day. It's just going to be like, people are just going to be like, oh my God, who is this guy?
Well, if it was a Adepticon team tournament, then I would actually be more competitive than the championship, because the team tournament in Adepticon is very competitive. Even though it's a lot of fun and thematic, it is more competitive than the championship.
I want to play in the narrative one year.
Oh, look who's here. Mr. Clint himself. The man, the myth, the legend.
Look at TJ. Check out Captain Kuyo.
Oh.
Question.
So Captain Kuyo, what's going on, bud? It's good I'm glad you're watching, man. I'm enjoying the stuff you're doing. But so for Captain Kuyo, planning on dealing with the LVO ruins when it comes to targets. So my guess is, coming from the TO on the thing, they were talking about the terrain, and they said probably about 60%, I think it was 60 to 70% are going to have some sort of those buildings on them. So I actually decided to change up my list a little bit and get a little bit of ground sloggers out there so I could actually get into buildings. Because I was going to take some more knights and some other stuff, and I'm like, man, unless someone really messes up and decides to put like their guy within an inch of the edge and he's inside the building, I'm not going to be able to touch him. So, depending on who you're playing, I think maybe some people's list may have changed for that. But I think with LVO and the ruins and stuff, up at Atomic, they do have some of those ruins, and I've played a couple games against people in those ruins, and it can be pretty nasty depending on it. But I just think you have to have either make your list with indirect fire, or B, make your list with models that can go into buildings to assault stuff, or get in there and be able to get to them. I think that's the main key. I know with Jonathan, we looked at Jonathan's list, and I was like, dude, you got to have some indirect fire. So Jonathan changed up his list a little bit to get some models with some indirect fire. So if something's stuck in a building, he's going to be able to target at least, I changed up my list a lot with I got some more assaulty type Skutari units. So I wanted to go with something that I could go across the board with and hide it relatively good as it goes across the board, but still get into those areas so that I could kill stuff if they're inside.
So I've got a question about the enclosed building.
What's up?
What if your opponent's got his models inside the building, but you can't? He's basically blocking your ability to get into the building. How are you able to, if I wanted to shoot them, am I able to? First off,
you have to be inside the building to shoot them.
Okay, now what if I wanted to assault them, but I can't get into the building?
Now, are they within an inch of the edge?
At the edge of the building?
Yes.
Sure.
Then yes, you can assault them, because remember, you can assault things you can't see, right? And all you have to do is be within an inch of their model.
So basically,
that's the assault rule.
So I'm Kool-Aid Manning through the walls and the windows and doors and everything, and fighting in close combat.
Yes, that is what you're doing with it.
Keep in mind too, they can't overwatch
because they can't see me, because first floor, there's no, you can't.
There's no
in or out.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, there's in and out because you can go freely through the walls, right?
Right.
First floor is you can move freely through it but you can't shoot, and it completely blocks line of sight. So they can't overwatch you, but you can still charge them.
Please, somebody do this so I can run my custodes up there and give you a very bad day.
You know what? People are honestly going to do it. You know, there's nothing about it. People are going to do it. You know, I mean, you know, if that objective's on the outside of the building an inch, I mean, why not put a unit inside the building and have it next to the objective, right?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's plain stupid not to do it.
It's a good tactic. It's not.
It's a great tactic, and I can't argue with it. I mean, you know,
No.
but you know, I think it's a way for them to clarify those kind of buildings because you have two options, right? They could have gone with A, if it's an enclosed building, you can't go into it at all, or you can only go up to the floor above it and you can't get on the bottom floor, right? And then it's just a complete line blocking terrain. They could have gone with that, but they decided, okay, we're just going to make it to where you can just move through the building and it's there. And so I think that's good. I think that's a better route to go than saying, oh, you can move up on the second floor and that's it. But then all on the bottom floor, you're just hosed. You know, it's like it becomes a big line blocking piece of terrain. So
interesting. Okay, cool. That'll be helpful.
And from me reading the rules and me reading it and listening to a couple podcasts and listening to the LVO judge when they talked about it, it's supposed to be easy to deal with. You're not supposed to have these kind of questions. And they did say there is going to be a packet on each table.
Yep.
That has those particular rules for those pieces of terrain just to clarify it before you start playing.
Cool.
Which is good.
That's new too.
Yep. So yeah, I think you know, they know there's going to be a ton of people and they're going to try to do as much as they can to get stuff out there so we don't have to ask all these questions, you know?
Yeah, I think it's also to alleviate a lot of arguments. Like when people are like, "Oh, is it a ruin?" Or you're halfway through the game, and it's a pivotal moment, and you're like, "Oh, are we counting these as ruins right now?" And it's like, we didn't establish that, you know?
Yeah, that's another thing too, man. When you get there and y'all start deploying, talk about the terrain and how y'all view the terrain
before you deploy.
Before you deploy.
Well, yeah, but
the first thing, y'all look at the board, you look at the terrain and say, hey, is it good? Good for me? Okay, cool. Ruin, enclosed building, grants a 1+ cover save if you're behind like a wall or something, you know, like a barricade, you know. Definitely clarify all that stuff before you even get started.
And
well, I think that packet will help clarify it now.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and take time to go ahead and read over the player, I think it's player code of conduct. Go ahead and read it. It might sound stupid, and you're a good player. You're not a jerk or anything. You don't need to read it. Go ahead and read it, because I think a lot of players, I've noticed this from TOing the past, like, I don't know, 5, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. Jesus. Players don't like to get judges involved because they think that makes them look like a bad player, or they're going to get a bad sportsmanship awards, or they're arguing. But calling over a judge for clarification or to get a ruling, you're not being a jerk. Your behavior is what makes you a jerk. But if you are just trying to get some little help on the issue because you guys are at an impasse, it doesn't hurt. Call that judge over and get the clarification.
Yep.
And if you have a gotcha moment, which we had over the last tournament weekend, if you figured out some little loophole in the rules and nobody else is using it or discussing it, man, contact the TO, run it by him, and get his clarification on the rule, because you don't want to show up to an event and start a big argument and all of a sudden yellow cards, red cards are flying around because you thought you had the trick moment and you can surprise everybody with how awesome you are when you're actually in the wrong.
You're
So
a tactical genius.
Yeah, you're not, but you probably are. But yeah, get it clarified. Don't wait and surprise you, because if you talk to a TO about it and get clarification ahead of time, they're not going to go sit there and announce it. Hey, everybody, look at what Joe Blow, number 800 in our.
Oh, he ran out of batteries.
Yeah, John ran out of batteries. You know, to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever been called a tactical genius.
Well,
He's froze.
but oh, there he comes. Maybe.
Coming back? Is he coming back? No, he's not. He's frozen.
But why he's frozen, I want to point this out there. The more people get and talk to judges, and I say talk and hey, is this what this is? And converse with judges, that stigmatism of, oh, you're a butthead because you called a judge over and my feelings are hurt. That crap needs to stop, man. You guys are here to play a tabletop game. People need to stop looking at that stuff. You know, and it's
I can't stop looking at the picture.
He's just, and the judges are there just to help the game process, clarify things. Do not stick that title on somebody because they're just asking questions. Like, you're going to mark somebody for poor sportsmanship because they asked for a judge. That's showing your sportsmanship, not theirs. And you got to understand that. And so I'm a big person with sportsmanship because it's all about the game. It's about the community. It's about having fun, making sure things are right. That's all it comes down to.
I want to be honest.
There's a respectful way on calling a judge.
Oh, yeah.
There's judge. You've heard those people, and you're like, dude, what? You know, like, I don't know if they're just having a little.
John says power outage.
Yeah. Well, he powered down. You heard him go.
Sorry, he just let us know.
John had a power outage?
Yep.
That explains it.
He's gone.
But yeah, like I've literally called the judge by going up there like, hey, we got a question at our table. The judge will follow me. You know what I mean? Like that. I've called the judge once ever in any tournament. I played a lot of GTs, and it was Warzone, and it was actually another member of FNP at the time, and I was like, all right, well, we got an impasse, so I'm gonna go get a judge. So I walked over there. I said, hey, we got a question. And they came back. There's those people who just scream at the top of their lungs for a judge. And like, I had it was Ben actually who said he was playing.
I heard about
he got startled because this person screamed judge. Yeah. Like they were like, I have well, I don't know. What about that? And he just goes, judge. Like he said he jumped because he just shouted at him.
About pooped himself.
Yes.
But you know, it's crazy though, Jonathan and TJ, since I've pretty much switched over to Age of Sigmar, I have seen a very drastic change with that issue, with the judge problem. I'm going to say that it is a problem, not with the judges, it's with the people and what they think calling a judge means. But with Age of Sigmar, dude, the judges come up and check on us. I mean, it's not even like they don't walk by and not say nothing. They walk by and say, hey, guys, how's it going? Man, it's looking great. Any questions? And then when you ask them questions, they're just like, okay, hey, that's great. Good call. Let's keep going. Like, there's never been any issues with I have seen or been a part of. Because when I was at Wargamers Con, I asked the judge all kinds of questions because I wasn't sure on some things. But I've been a part of the whole judge, and whoop, oh, there goes a little guy, coming out my rear end. And people get in fist fights or get close to fist fights or yelling matches because someone called the judge. I don't get it.
Too. If you're in that point to where you have to scream and yell for a judge, you ain't winning this tournament, buddy.
Yeah.
So you might as well get that in your head. You ain't winning this damn tournament because guess what? If you don't know the rules well enough or you can't talk to someone or get things figured out right, you're probably not going to be on the top table.
Well, even when you're not even on a top table. Like every time I've seen a judge being called or screamed at, they're never at the top tables. They're always at the middle table. And when we're talking middle tables at LVO, TJ, that's like what, 250, 300?
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't going no farther, bud.
You've been denied.
You know what's funny is like when you get to that point, I think when you lose your first game, that sets the precedence of like, all right, well, I know what this is going to be. It's just going to be a lot of fun because you're going to be at the middle tables, the lower end tables. You know what I mean?
Dude,
I'm going all the way.
I think you have to go in LVO honestly thinking to yourself, really when it comes down to it, is you have to put the mindset that you're going to lose.
Yep.
And what are you going to do to try to give you the best chance of winning the game? And if you can switch your mindset to saying, I'm going to lose this game, but how can I do well enough to try to pull the game out or win it?
Yeah.
Because I think really your mindset cannot be, I'm here to win this or I'm going to win this game. Because right there, I think that takes some of your tactical, or to me, it seems like it takes some of your tactical knowledge out of your head to where you already think like that you're superior in some way that you're going to win this game.
Well, I think what it does is, like you said, it puts it in your head, and then it creates more pressure for yourself.
Yeah.
It's unneeded pressure because you're probably not going to win. You're probably not going to win at all. And it's really just have a good time.
Yeah.
Then I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent in the mindset thing because I think I agree. You don't want to set yourself up for failure, but I go with my Iron Jaws. Of course, it's a mid-tier army. Very, you can win games with them, but I'm like, I'm going to be the best Iron Jaw players at this tournament.
Okay.
Doesn't mean I'm going to win it, but I'm going to be the best Iron Jaw players I can be. And I mean, I don't know. I paid money.
That's a good mindset too, man.
What?
It depends on what your mindset is. I think for me, if I go thinking I'm going to do really well, then I get let down.
Okay.
And then it may affect me later on. But if I kind of go in and I'm just like, you know what? I'm here to play a fabulous game with my opponent that I just met, and I go in with that mindset, then I'm like, okay, cool. If I win or lose, for me, it's not a big issue. Because, I mean, let's be honest, man. Going to LVO and playing against 800 people, there are players there that are amazing.
Well, you only get the experience, 5 out of that 800 people.
Yep. Well, 6 up now.
Oh, 6. They went up to 6.
6-game tournament, so I get to experience 6 quality players.
Oh, hopefully quality. I always give benefit of doubt. I always say hope. Because there's always the onesies and twosies.
This is true. I always get usually one, and it's always the first one has always been, well, the 2 times now, they've always kind of been not super duper to play against. That's the best choice of words I can use.
A party pooper?
Not super duper.
Oh, they'll say he's a party pooper.
And usually after that, like, I think my funnest game, he was actually a fan of the channel. And he played a beautifully painted Primaris Ultramarine army. Gilliman, that silly floaty tank, and like, you know, everything's full Primaris, and it was gorgeous. And like, you know, he's telling me he's a fan of the channel and stuff. That guy was the funnest guy, and I tabled him, and he still had a great time because I didn't table him in a jerk way. It was just the amount of, you know, bad saves or my attrition to firepower. And but he was like, oh, that was so fun. You know, we just had a really good time, and we went over to go meet his kids. I gave him some FNP swag. So it was a lot of fun overall.
I think mine was Adepticon Championship, last game of the championship. A guy named John Woo, I think his name was. He had an IG army that was very customized with all of them had safari hats.
Nice.
He had a knight that was painted up as House from Game of Thrones, the Wolf House. I forget.
House Stark?
Stark.
And his Bane blade that shot the D cannon was the Red Dragon, I believe. And we came up and we basically, he had some other stuff too, but we basically had a Dukem Nukem Sock'em robot fight that we agreed upon. Like I had 3 knights and he only won, so we decided we'll have one-on-one matches with the knights until his died. And we had so much fun. Like, it wasn't even about the game. I mean, I ended up winning and he ended up, I never touched the Bane blade. He missed with it every time. It was kind of funny. But yeah, we just had fun playing Rock'em Sock'em robots the whole match mostly. And then he went to play 30K with his amazingly painted salamanders. the next day.
Salamanders.
And that was the 40K, not Age of Sigmar. I've had almost 90% of all my games have been great for Age of Sigmar. I can't compare any of them because they're all great.
I heard you guys having a lot of fun out there at was that
This weekend, huh?
no. It's not Alamo. War Games Con.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I kept hearing you guys go like Slambo. I don't know what was happening, but it sounded fun.
So I think his name's Dan Norris. He's part of the he's the vice president for the Texas Masters group that I'm a part of, the committee. He is part of the Sons of Slambo gaming group. And he, at the beginning of the tournament, we all came in consensus. Anytime he said Slambo, we would all yell Slambo. And it was just a thing we did as a whole. And it was like a program thing, like you're in the military. You just do it. And everybody we played, like everybody I played against, even if they were part of a gaming group or whatever, every game was great. Even the one where, you know, I beat myself in some aspects and I had a really competitive player, but he knew so much. I learned so much from him. And he, you know, monopolized some of my own mistakes, but he taught me, and it wasn't a bad experience. Like, I had fun the whole time. Not going in, not thinking I was going to win anything because I was playing Iron Jaws versus some of these top armies. And I did really, really well. So that was great, man. So much fun.
I think that's what a lot of us forget, because we look at winning as the fun part, but the whole point of playing the game is just to have fun.
Yep. And you'll get your prizes. Everybody looks at prize support and, oh, look at how much it cost. And, oh, you know, if you just pay to support the hobby and the community, you will get your just desserts in the end.
I like desserts.
See? There you go.
Oh,
it happens over
wrong.
time.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Was that wash? No, okay.
Oh, dang.
What?
You dropped the bottle.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I love plastic glue, man. Doesn't break.
Well, that's what I was hoping it was a model versus a bottle of, you know, wash.
Nah, man, I got these little holder things, man, that I put my paints in so it don't spill. Takes a lot to knock these things over.
You're an animal, though.
Yes, I am. Well, guys, unfortunately, we're going to have to kind of cut the show off.
One more quick thing.
Jonathan's got a very important appointment tomorrow.
Oh, yep.
But unfortunately, it is 11 o'clock, right, Jonathan?
Yeah, that's true.
So
one thing I want to put out there, everybody, that's if you're in Age of Sigmar or in the Texas area, or you're looking at the Texas Masters or whatever, people watch this later, the Texas Masters roster, if you don't know, will be updated every Thursday. The first Thursday of every month, the site gets updated with all the new rankings. So for Age of Sigmar. So I just want to put that out on video if anybody watches this later for the Masters, because we had our first one for Houston. Great turnout. I wish we'll get more, hopefully, in the road. They're not going to update those until next month on a Thursday, the first weekend of the month. So.
Yep. And that, guys, man, we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters.
As always.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, really, let's think about it, guys. So we have next week's show, right?
Yep.
And then we have the show after that. So 3 shows, and we have 3 more shows until LVO.
Yep. 3 more shows, and then like the next day, we're pretty much most of us gonna be out.
Yep. Wednesday. That's it. But yeah, other than that, guys, man, all I gotta say is good night, man.
Yep.
Thank y'all for joining us tonight.
Appreciate everyone who tuned in and had a chat with us. Appreciate all the comments. So,
always,
as always, guys. Good night.
Good night.
Night, guys.